Hi there, this is Pablo, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to document changes in your Zendesk configuration with Salto. Now before I show you how to document changes, we should talk about why you should do this. By documenting changes in your Zendesk configuration, you are able to retrieve previous versions of your macros, triggers, and any other configuration. This can help with troubleshooting. Let's say, for example, a trigger stopped working or a macro is no longer doing what it's supposed to do. You can go back to a previous version and see what changed. In some scenarios, it can also help auditing the changes for compliance. But most importantly, it helps you with knowledge transfer. If your Zendesk admin moves to another department or leaves the company, you don't want all that knowledge to suddenly be gone from your organization. You want to be able to document everything that was done and why it was done. So let's see how easy it is to do this using Salto. So let's say I have this macro and one of my support managers has asked me to make a few changes. First, I need to add a signature here. Then I need to also make this specifically available to only agents in certain group. In this case, the tier 3 in EMEA. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to save the changes and I'm done. So now that I've made the changes, how can I document exactly what changed and why I did it? Well, let's see how we can do it using Salto. So I'm here in Salto where I've connected my Zendesk environment and now I can see all the configuration on the element tree. In particular, I would like to see the marker that I just changed, which is right here. I can look at the actions and see that the placeholder is there along with the signature, and in the restriction I can see that it's only available to the tier 3 EMEA group, which is exactly the changes that I made in Zendesk. Great. Now before we can document why we made this change, there are two things that we need to remember. First is that Salto translates the configuration of your Zendesk environment into simple text files. So if I go here and click on View NACL, I can see the exact same configuration of that macro as a simple text file. The second thing we need to remember is how to read versions of a text file. If you're new to versions, there is a link on the description below that has everything you need to understand about versioning in Zendesk. Okay, so I'm ready to document this change. So I'm going to go here to the Audit tab. I'm going to click on Preview Push. And basically, Salto is going to show me all the changes I've made in my Zendesk environment since the last time I documented the changes. So as I can see here, there is only one macro. And when I click on it, I can see exactly what the differences are. First, I added more text on the comment, and I also added a new restriction, which restricts this macro to only the tier 3 EMEA group. So let's document this by adding a new title, and then a description that explains why this change was made. Now I'm going to select the file and click Push. Great. Now this change was documented in a GitHub repository where I have all the configuration files of my Zendesk environment. So let's go to it and see where that change was documented. Here we see that the latest change was 27 seconds ago. If I click on it, I can see exactly what the change is. We can see the title that we gave to the change. We can also see the description of why this change was made, and then the details of what changed. I can also let one of my coworkers know that this change was made. Now let's make yet another change to the same macro. This time I'm going to add a new action. I'm going to set a tag to the value customer notified. Great. Now I'm going to save the changes and that's it. Now back in Salto, I can see here that there are two files that have changed and I need to document. The first file here is the same macro, and in this case, what changed is we added a new action to set a tag. And the second file is the tag itself, where we have a new tag called customer notified. So I'm going to document this change and add an explanation as to why I made it. Now back on my GitHub repository, I have here the macro that I made a change to. And now I can see all the history of changes I've made. For example, I can see where I added a new tag. I can see when I made the initial changes to the macro as well. And I can see the exact changes that were made just by clicking on this link here. So again, here I can see that a new tag was added. And on the previous change, I can see where a new restriction was added. So just like that, I have documented every single change I've made to this macro, and this is going to help us for auditing purposes as well as knowledge transfer. Thanks for watching.